Tamal Bandyopadhyay will come on stage and present his session. Tamal is a business journalist known for his very popular weekly column on banking and finance called Bankers Trust, published in The Mint, the business daily of HT Media. At present, he is the consulting editor of Mint. May I welcome Tamal Bandyopadhyay to come here and conduct his session on digital banking, the next revolution in Indian financial system.
Thank you. Very warm welcome to this session. Let me start with two little secrets. One is this, the MC said that I had to catch a flight and Bandyopadhyay is gracious enough to flip the thing. That's not actually, I could have stayed back, but I have a little thing, appointment with the market. I'm planning to buy Ilsa on my way to the airport. So that's the reason I asked Bandyopadhyay for this favor, and he was gracious enough to, so that I can have little time to do that. And second secret is probably, I'm not very sure I'm the right person to talk about digital banking. Probably an odd man here, because you can see that I have no presentation, no video, nothing. Just scribble some pages on the flight. So it's more a sort of chat, little bit talk about what is my perception. And if you have any question within this time allotted, 20 minutes or not, I'll be very happy to answer. In some sense, I feel like today standing here, this gentleman called Larry Fronteschi. I think all of you or many of you know who's Larry. He is technically the 8th husband of Elizabeth Taylor, actually the 7th, because she got married to one person twice. So it happens, a 2 million marriage in October 1991, and it lasted for 5 years till 1996. It was a gala affair in one of those farmlands of Michael Jackson. And it's a very, very high profile event. The media was covering it from helicopter. Guest list was Eddie Murphy, Nancy Reagan, so on and so forth. Taylor was wearing a $25,000 dress, and all those, the wedding photographs were sold because for some AIDS charity, etc., etc. And there was an agreement, if the marriage could last for 5 years, Larry would get 1 million. He got it. But I'm not telling the story for that. I'm telling this story for this simple reason. On his honeymoon night, the dilemma that Larry had with a much married woman, he knew what exactly needs to be done, but his problem is, how do I be different from others? So today, standing here talking about digital banking, everybody and his uncle and aunt talking about digital banking for the past few years in India. So what new I would say? That's the problem. What is digital banking exactly? You know that Reserve Bank of India has allowed, or rather given in principle, license to 11 payments bank. So all of them joined actually, many applied for it, and 3 of them actually surrendered their licenses because they are not finding the model exactly business friendly, and they did not know what to make money. One of them is very aggressive, Paytm, which is selling now movie tickets, and lakhs of movie tickets they have been selling ever since they have started. So what is all digital banking all about? If you look at the Indian banking system, which is predominantly run by the state-run banks, about 70% of them, what they have a core banking solution, which means you don't do a branch banking, you do a bank banking. Suppose you are banking with the Baliganj Circular Road branch of State Bank of India. You are actually not with particularly the branch customer. You are the customer of State Bank of India, thousands of branches, anywhere you do banking. So that's the core banking part. And what else? You have ATM, you have mobile, you have internet, so on and so forth. There are various channels. So do we say that we are into the era of digital banking? Probably not. Why? These are all driven by technology, but assisted by human staff, bank employees. So digital banking probably, you say that the application of technology to ensure seamless end-to-end transaction with minimal or no human interface whatsoever. Are we there? Certainly not. And what all does it do? One is gives it you speed. Second, it brings down the cost for you and me like a customer, as well as cost for the banks. Of course, better service and zero error. These are the prima facie, these are the 4-5 elements which come out of digital banking. Another very, very big part of it, outcome of it, is globally people are concerned about it, is this. And in India particularly, the new Bharatiya Janata, BJP-led government also is talking about this. The cashless transaction. Digital banking also leads to cashless transaction. Now what's happening, in Denmark, the government, the central bank has decided they would not print cash anymore, barring one particular outlet, that's the hospitals, where you would be able to use cash transactions. Otherwise, everywhere else it has to be digital. In Sweden, parents have already started giving pocket money to their children electronically. They don't give the currency to their children. So why do we need to go for cashless transaction? What exactly? We spoke about speed, we spoke about reduction of cost, better service, zero error, so on and so forth. But why necessarily we need to go for cash? What's the reason? A, it's very easy and very convenient. People spoke about just now the previous panel. This gentleman has 40 odd mobile apps. Now mobile is becoming a bank. So it's just a click away. We'll come to that later. So one is very easy and very convenient, very effective. Second, and very critical part of this, for every transaction you make, we leave an audit trail. So what does that mean? The tax evasion. Certain professions in India, I have not named them, are known not to pay taxes. So they will be caught. Once you make every transaction is to be digital, there has to be an audit trail, and there is no escape from paying taxes. Third and more important thing, not necessarily in India, but overall in certain parts of the world is this. The drug dealers and terrorists, they deal with cash, hard cash. So once we shift to digital, when we shift to no cash system, then that will be over. And finally, another new thing, it's rather funny, but it's very true, why some of the countries, again, across the globe are pushing for digital banking is this, the cashless banking is this. You will find that it's Japan, Sweden, Switzerland, most of and some of the European countries are now in a negative interest rate. So this negative interest rate, actually what? It prompts you to spend. So since you are not earning money on your savings, you don't need to save. You should not save, you spend. That's what negative interest rate wants you to do. But unless you have a cashless society, you would still tend to hoard cash. If you are electronically doing this, then in this regime of negative interest rate, when to prop up the economy, the central bank wants you to spend more and save less, you will do that. So that's yet another reason of why we are looking for a cashless society. Now let's, that's a little theoretical part, and that's what's happening globally. As I said, I don't have any slide, I'm sorry about it, I just scribbled certain things on my way of thinking. So let's look at this, what's happening in India. What's happening in India actually, who are you talking to? Just to give an example, if you speak to Nandan Nilekani, he will say that we are on the verge of, of seeing a WhatsApp movement in India, in Indian banking. Everything will be digitalized. So this is what, because he's a big proponent of digital banking in that financial intermediary space. But if you speak to a chairman of a public sector bank, and trust you me, this is a true story, I would not name the chairman or the bank. For him, what is the WhatsApp banking movement? This gentleman had recently had his annual AGM, annual general meeting. There he spoke to the shareholders, and then the next day newspapers carried his little speech and his photograph, and this gentleman WhatsApp this speech and photograph to his colleagues, to the general managers, and etc., etc. And all these general managers and senior general managers, executive, etc., told this chairman, "Oh, wow, great, sir, you are a real visionary." So for him, that's the WhatsApp moment of Indian banking. I am not very sure whether you got the joke, but the point I am making is this: I mean, who are you talking to? Because we are, at the one hand, we have a person like Nandan Nilekani, and you have an entity like NPCI, which is driving digital banking in a big, aggressive way. On the other hand, we have the mindset problem, particularly, not everybody, but many of the state-run banks, where WhatsApp banking movement is seeing his own photograph and speeches and being told by the colleagues that you are doing a great job, you are a visionary, and doing nothing on the digital front. So what exactly, and what is the provocation of Nandan Nilekani's excitement about digital banking, etc., etc. If you have read his speeches and this thing, he has been talking about disruption. And he has been redefining one particular moment, how the entire thing digitally changed. And here you, all the experts are here, you know that I am digitally challenged. I'm not qualified to say that whether there is a much larger movement than that, but this is what he spoke about 2007, when internet and mobile telephone came together on something called smartphone. And then we got a startup called WhatsApp, and now this WhatsApp actually passes 30 million messages per day. And all the other telecom companies put together globally, their volume is 20 million. So now you know what can change to this mobile app. Now, what we estimate is this: by 2022, that's 4 years down the line, we have about 700 million smartphone users in India. And at this point of time, we have 1 billion plus other user, which means their biometric identity has already been established. And then you have government push of Jan Dhan Yojana, which is 20 million new accounts, deposit accounts have been opened. So you look at these numbers in your mind space: 7 million smartphone, 1 billion plus other online biometric identity, and extra additional 20 million deposit holders. So if you combine these three, what you get is this, exactly what Nandan Nilekani has been talking about: WhatsApp movement in India, and the disruption of whatever it is. In fact, I happened to meet him about a month back in Bangalore. I went there for some other meeting, and then in his little office, we had an appointment, so he said, "Come and spend some time what I am doing." And then he asked me that, "What's your Aadhaar number?" I forgot. I don't carry my Aadhaar number. I carry something else, driving license for the airport thing and all. Then I called up my wife and asked her the Aadhaar number, and I gave him the Aadhaar number. And one of his colleagues, he just came with a little largish smartphone kind of thing and all. And he just put on my eyeball, eye dish, whatever you call it and all. And in 10 seconds, I find that on his platform, each and everything about me is there. And what Nandan said, this device is being developed by one company, I would not name the company, which will be in market in the next few months. And once you do that, this bank's reluctance to open account and, giving some examples of your KYC, know your customer norm, etc., etc., you are not compliant. All these things will go away. On the spot, you can open your bank account. Now, at this point of time, we have 280 million Aadhaar link account, and 1 billion direct beneficiary. Direct, that all the LPG gas and other things and all, which government have started giving this. So if you put all these things together, people who are in the technology space, they believe that we are not very far away what's happening elsewhere in the world. I'll come to that, what's happening elsewhere in the world. But before that, another very important thing has happened, and this has been done by NPCI, which is National Payment Corporation of India, which was instituted by Reserve Bank of India some 7 years back, some 2009, run by a very dynamic gentleman called Mr. Hota. They're doing a lot of things. They have already started that Indian version, call it the Rupee card, debit card, which is giving run for its money to Visa and Masters. They had been forced to cut down their margin dramatically in the last 2-3 years as this Rupee card is making inroads. Now, what this NPCI has done is called Unified Payment Interface, UPI, which actually combines this Aadhaar, this KYC, which is the instant KYC through your iris and bank account and mobile smartphone, etc., etc. So what happens is this, now your as and when things happen, you will carry your bank in your pocket. Many of us have stopped going to bank branches. We do at home on internet, or we stepped into a nearby ATM. We don't need to do anything like that. Your mobile will be your bank. You will carry in your pocket, and this will be your debit and credit. The way you send a mail, exactly the same way you can transfer money to another account, or you can accept money from another account. So the new currency will be actually the data. And what will be the result of all this? Why we are talking all these kind of things? The result will be, at this point of time, what we are saying is very low volume, high cost, high value and high fees for every transaction. Exactly, it will be the opposite. It will be very high volume, low value, low cost and no fees. Absolutely no fees. And as I said, 11 payment banks have been given licenses, but 3 of them already have withdrawn because they are trying to figure out, as the entire banking system gets into this, so they themselves are becoming payment bank, so there is no other incentive to become a payment bank. So only particularly the telecom operators, they will probably remain in the fray because they will create other benefits, create a sticky factor for their subscriber, etc., etc. There may not be much an opportunity to make money from the payments per se. So as I said, from low volume, high cost, high value, high fees, we will transform into high volume, low value, low cost and no fees. And of course, it will get us more accessibility and more affordability. And now I'm coming to the almost end of it is this. Is this so? Again, I said that who are you talking to and what's this person's view? That's what this. Now look at this two new banks, two universal banks India has got last year. One is IDFC and one is Bandhan. Let me make it one admission. I am in some way related to Bandhan as an advisor. So IDFC, Rajiv Lal has been saying that branch banking is almost dead. We don't need into branch banking. We need to use other channels for the ease of doing business. And as we talk, Bandhan Bank opened its 700th branch in Kolkata. So you see that two new entities, clearly two different point of view. And all of you know that Indian Postal Service is becoming a bank, and Indian Postal Service's biggest strength, it thinks, is this: 1.55 lakh branches or the outlets, out of which 1.39 lakh branches are in rural India. So they are more than the combined branch network. I leave aside the ATMs, only branch network of Indian banking system. And Indian Post Office is getting into payments bank on the strength of its branches. So if we are talking about the branches, then why again at the same time we are talking about digital banking? I'm coming to that later, but before that, one little chunk about what's happening globally. UK has got its first bank, pure online bank called Atom. It's about a year old now, or less than a year old, and it does not have a branch, does not have any ATM, does not have even in its any website. It's a completely app-based branch. It's literally the branch which carry in your pocket. It's a mobile app-based bank branch. It's called Atom. No website, nothing. It's only smartphone. That works for ATM, for branch, for everything and so on. Who's the gentleman who is running it? His name is Mark Mullen. He was the ex-boss of HSBC's telebanking division called First Direct. And what has Mark Mullen said? Mark Mullen said that it's a, it's a bank in your pocket. It's sleek and it's very user-friendly. And the other gentleman, Anthony Thompson, its chairman, says that mobile has gone from nothing to bigger than banks, internet, telephone, all put together in just about 2 years. So a bank only on mobile. And to support his claim, British Bankers Association said that in Britain, mobile banking has overtaken branch banking. But is this something new? Yes, on mobile, only on mobile is something new. But this electronically thing is happening for quite some time, because in 1998 we have seen Egg, that was the first in globe, it's an internet bank of Prudential PLC. Then we have the first E in Dublin, it's an European bank. Then we have Kahoot, again it's a Santander AG's this thing. And finally, at this point of time, everybody is talking about one particular German bank which is called Fidor AG. Now, from Germany, it has gone into UK also. And this is a bank again, it's on a social media platform it runs. I'm slightly dated number, I'm giving you probably 2015, not recent, where it has 3 lakh customers, but only 34 employees. Everything is on a platform, and it decides on its interest rate, both on deposits and credit, on Facebook likes. It just throws, should we bring down our interest rate by 25 basis points by the depositors? And then the depositor click the likes or dislike, etc., etc. On that basis, they decide, both on the asset sides as well as on the liability sides. So, and finally, what I was talking about is this: the speed. Anybody who is a customer of Fidor branch, they did the British Bankers Association did a poll some time back this year. It says the maximum time takes to do a transaction is 60 seconds. You want an auto loan, you want a mortgage, you want to put in money, maximum time 60 seconds. So that's what globally happening. They are all called challenger banks. Now India, as I said, Nandan Nilekani has been talking about WhatsApp movement. We have been talking about all this combination of Aadhaar and mobile, more smartphone, and as well as the Jan Dhan, more and more deposits. So we are dreaming, leapfrogging into that era where not 60 seconds, probably half an hour, 1 hour a transaction will happen. But why we are still far away? Why, if not far away, maybe at least few years away? Why people are still focusing on branches? As I said, one bank has 700 branches, which was born last year, August. Another branch, you're saying we don't need too many branches. Why is this? Again, the way you look at things. The big problem in India is this connectivity. You may have 700 odd million smartphone by 2020, but at this point of time, look at the connectivity. We are talking about Ola and Uber. So many times I get stuck on an airport. I could not get in because I can't get the bill. He said, hang on, 30 seconds, 90 seconds. There could be even 2 minutes on the outside Delhi airport. I had to wait because this poor chap, he can't generate the bill for me. There's a connectivity issue. So India continues to remain a broadband deficit country. You know, we have a mobile 1 million, have a billion mobile users. We have more mobile connections than bank accounts, but internet connectivity is continuously weak. Now, I have seen in villages, there are certain branches, it doesn't work because the monkeys choose off the wires. But that's a separate story, that's wire. But what about the wireless? There also, its connectivity is a big, big problem. Because our entire telecom revolution, what we had, is through the voice telephony. First in urban and then in the hinterland and all. And it continues to remain concentrated in voice telephony. Of late, the data transmission started, but it's not happening the way it should happen. The fiber optic connectivity, it should happen. In fact, government had announced a 70,000 crore national information highway, but I am told it got stuck. It needs to get the okay of all the states. I think Andhra Pradesh was the first state government which said okay, but not too many states are coming up. So this connectivity continues to remain a big, big problem, data transmission. So we can call the data is the new currency, but this transferring the data, the kind of connectivity what we need, it's not there. Then again you see the internet. Internet continues to be a language issue here. There are not too many. There is certain attempts have been made, but it's a predominantly it's an English language issue. And why it's not happening? Because in the internet you have this literacy problem of the adult literacy is not that here, and then the data delivery is a problem, etc., etc. So all these payment wallets we are talking about, including Paytm, buying movie tickets, continues to remain mostly an urban phenomena. So at this point of time, India has around 4 lakh towers, and this number will be 5 lakhs by 2020. But as I said, the major thing, that 70,000 crore national information highway that the government has promised, it's not been happening. So we can talk about theoretically lot of things we can do, but till such time the connectivity issue is addressed, we can only sort of voyeuristic pleasure what's happening in UK and what's happening in Germany, the Fidor Bank and others. But in India, we continue to remain probably depending on the branch. And finally, what I will say is this: the Fidor. If you go to the Fidor Bank website, it says that banking is fun, not fear. So this is probably the high time. Let Indian customers have some fun. It's pretty long that we are in overawe of the bankers. The glass door and the branch manager sits and we are sort of begging for money, or even while keeping the deposit with them, you need to please that gentleman, he's the jamindar there, this in the glass door of branch managers and all. So that has changed. Banking has been changed, approach has been changed, technology have been changed, but certain basic things still remain, unfinished. So till such time, I think in India, our aspiration to leapfrog into the digital banking era is very strong, and aggressively are pushing for it. But we cannot wish away the branch banking in the near future. But for I think all of you, we should say that let there be some fun in banking, and once we get into the digital banking, we have that fun. Thank you.
Tamal Bandyopadhyay, thank you very much. May I request Shamrat Mukherjee to come over here, please? Is Shamrat here? Shamrat. And may we greet Tamal Babu for the wonderful presentation that he has done for us. Please. Tamal Bandyopadhyay being greeted. Thank you very much. Tamal Bandyopadhyay.